Lecture 5, Generalized Anxiety Disorder. What is GAD? Tendency to constantly worry while envisioning negative outcomes of different events and thinking of ways to prevent them. GAD is part of human survival instinct and was useful for our ancestors to avoid danger by preparing in advance. In today's world, there are less physical dangers, so survival instinct creates mental triggers originating from our childhood traumas, and our brain uses this functional set of rules to prevent those imaginary dangers. Here's a list of most common GAD symptoms. How does it feel to live with GAD? People with GAD worry about everything but never concentrate on anything specific. Nothing seems to be safe or reliable. Despite the constant worry, none of their fears ever materialize. GAD sufferers are easily triggered by phrases like "just snap out of it," "think positively," "stop thinking about it." GAD may lead to issues like overeating, different types of substance abuse, and addictions. GAD should be taken seriously when it starts negatively affecting quality of your life, like ability to work, have good relationships, or just enjoy your life to the fullest. How is GAD developed? In order to avoid discomfort, we create a set of rules based on worry. Actively planning the future. Try to anticipate possible negative outcomes and think of ways to prevent them. Take measures before something bad happens. Always be ready for the worst. Eagerness to resolve imaginary problems. Believe that worry is helpful in preventing worst-case scenarios. People who worry a lot are normally very conscientious and extremely responsible in everything they do. The level of responsibility they demand of themselves is very ineffective and unrealistic in today's world, and creates a lot of tension in their lives. Possible causes of GAD. Genetic predisposition. Growing up with single or no parents. Overprotective parenting. Increased level of responsibility like job promotion, new business, newborn child. Stressful life events like divorce, death of a family member, and unexpected illness. 4 rules of anxious thinking. Number 1, looking out for danger. Number 2, catastrophize the danger. Number 3, control reality and your thoughts. Number 4, avoid fear situations. Following all of these rules will negatively affect your ability to rationally estimate risks and prevent you from seeing risks as normal part of life. Despite the fact that almost all of your worries end up not being as bad as you have expected, you can't stop focusing on danger. You start believing that worrying somehow helps you avoid danger, even though it keeps you in the constant state of danger throughout the day, preventing you from enjoying your life. This belief comes from conditioning by worry. Let's say you feel uncomfortable symptoms and start worrying. As a result, nothing bad happens. Your anxious mind immediately concludes that worrying helped you avoid the danger. Then you develop a belief that in order to be safe, you have to worry. Thus, worry becomes your new coping strategy to avoid the discomfort. An anxious mind simply refuses to accept that symptoms happen regardless of you worrying or not, and in fact, worrying creates more anxiety that leads to more symptoms in the long run. Worry about worrying. Anxious people often worry about worrying. Worrying is not just a coping strategy to prevent danger. It actually blocks emotions. Worrying activates rational part of the brain cortex and blocks emotional part, amygdala, thus making worry seem like a cure from other unpleasant feelings. Therefore, an anxious person uses worrying like an alcoholic uses alcohol. It's just a means to numb the pain. Worrying thoughts become his escape from the discomfort of anxiety. He becomes absolutely convinced that worry helps him in life, when in reality he needs to feel all his emotions. As GAD intensifies, it becomes more difficult to relax both physically and mentally. Worry, self-talk, and responses. Below is the list of negative self-talk phrases that intensify GAD and perpetuate more anxiety and suggested responses for them. I need complete certainty. Need for more certainty just makes me more anxious. I'm surrounded by danger. World around me is safer than I think. None of my worries have ever come true. I must be prepared for everything. Being hypervigilant prevents me from relaxing. I must control everything. Controlling everything and not being in danger are two different things. When I start worrying, I must do something about it. Worrying is a result of harmless thoughts and nothing more. I must avoid any emotional discomfort. Avoiding worry creates more worry and emotional discomfort. I can't live in the present. Right now, I exist in the imagined future that never happens. I must avoid everything that makes me anxious. I should do things that make me anxious, even if I think I'm not ready.